Hi, I'm Paul and this is Game Turtle. I first came across Fibrillation years ago, but I never got a chance to actually play it and I swiftly forgot all about it. Earlier this year, the game got re-released as an HD edition, which reminded me to finally check it out. Fibrillation HD, hereby referred to as Fibrillation, is a first-person exploratory game with strong horror leanings. Fibrillation takes place across 19 surreal environments. The game has a psychological tone as far as horror goes, and leans heavily towards bizarre and unnerving over outright terror. Fibrillation's level design harkens back to that classic old-school first-person environmental design, complete with numerous hidden secrets and collectibles. Each level is fairly self-contained, and most are only short environments to navigate through. I actually found a lot of enjoyment in simply exploring the levels, and I felt like my time exploring was well rewarded with hidden areas and things. The game is a work of horror, but the overtly scary chase sequences and monster appearances are well paced to not become overbearing. In actual fact, Fibrillation uses the horror more as a device for carrying symbolic meaning rather than as a tool of tension for tension's sake. So while it's not an overwhelming level of scariness, it does work really effectively for the tone and narrative of the game. As far as player abilities, there's a very simple stamina meter in place, which also drains from torch use. You can also jump and climb. The climbing mechanic is actually pretty interesting, as it doesn't just lock you to a ledge if you jump to the ledge's approximate height, as most games would. You can actually hold down the climb button, and you'll continue to climb unless there's no climbable surface, or you hit your head. It adds a nice little bit of extra maneuverability and control, and a few areas use the ability well. Each level contains these small orange cubes which act as keys. Occasionally there will be more keys than absolutely necessary to progress, which often allows you to access secret areas. Alongside these keys, each level contains a single blue orb, which serves no function on its own in the level. The presence of these orbs is marked by faint blue sparkles, so you have some idea where the orb could be hidden. The exploration required to find some of these orbs was quite rewarding. The final level of Fibrillation is locked behind a literal wall, requiring every blue orb to open. Now, normally that would completely suck, locking the story behind 100% completion. However, it kind of works here for two reasons. Firstly, the hidden blue orbs are one per level, and they're in the sweet spot of being quite well hidden, but also accessible through exploration. Secondly, this revisiting of past levels to find each orb serves an important narrative function, as does the eventual final level. The game's title and endgame captions serve to contextualize the surreal dreamscape. Fibrillation is a term which relates to unorthodox muscle contractions. Think those defibrillator machines ambulances have. Over the course of the game, more information is given about the protagonist, Ewan Barrington, and his severe cardiac situation. The game effectively takes place as Ewan is going through rapid shutdown of his body, experiencing strange hallucinations and visions. The penultimate stage offers a player choice between embracing the wind dragging you into the light, or fighting against the gale to find an image of yourself on a hospital bed before coming to. So while the game is partly a representation of the experience as he lies on the verge of death, it's also an account of the recurring traumatic dreams he suffers for years after surviving, if the choice was made to survive. With this in mind, the final stage unlocking after having delved back through prior levels to solve them reflects the idea of Ewan reflecting on these post-traumatic stress dreams and eventually reaching a place where he can manage them. The final level describes the process of Ewan improving over a period of years to fight back against these nightmares. The final level even gives the player the ability to jump extra high and float down, as well as the path forward being structured as an ascent, which has a lot of inherent symbolism on its own. This final level also shows the figure we've seen occasionally throughout the game as the one responsible for littering our environment with those orange cube keys and generally guiding you, which seems to represent the psychologist who's helping Ewan along in his journey. Fibrillation is a short and sweet little experience. The game features engaging level design alongside its strong imagery. The narrative of the game also tells a succinct conceptual tale, with plenty of depth with which to reflect on symbolically. Fibrillation is a game with a lot of heart.